Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's call, particularly this business launch from Ms. Amber Middlebrook. My name is Derek Hawkins. I will be your presenter and host for this evening. Before I get started, just some simple house rules. I'm going to keep everyone on mute and audios off as we are recording this and do not want to interfere with the live stream of this call. I want to thank all of you who have taken the time out of your busy schedule to join us as we celebrate and launch Amber's new business. Again, getting started, I want to make sure that everyone, again, gets acknowledged. So if you are invited by Amber or Emerson, please make sure that you, at some point during the presentation, you type in the chat your name and who invited you. As you know, we often get people that join Zoom, and only thing we see is a phone number. Sometimes we'll see a nickname. Sometimes we'll see iPhone or iPad. But to help, again, we're making sure that you get that they know that you acknowledge that you were on this call. Please make sure that you put your name in the chat during the course of the presentation. I may also remind you again as people start to join us. Again, welcome. Again, my name is Derek Hawkins. I'm your host, and you've been invited by Amber to take a look at not just a traditional business, not just any kind of business. This is a phenomenal business. In fact, this business is changing lives. We have a gentleman, a scientist, a well-known scientist who spent over 20 years of research and development and $5 million of his own money to develop this technology that is now a $600 million company and growing even and faster than that. Again, it has to do with something called light and light technology. The company's called Lifewave. Imagine if you can somehow harness the power of the light to heal people. And this is a product that's way ahead of its time. I'm going to share with you by the time I finish sharing this with you. Not only will you want to get more information, many of you may want to also get hold of this technology, and you're going to see how we're helping people around the globe as well. So let me go ahead and get right into the presentation. And my question to you is, have you been patched yet? Many of you may have gotten a sample of a patch. Maybe you heard of the patch. You see the little quarter sides look like a bandage on the arms of the young ladies here. That is a X39, the X39 stem cell activation patch. And when you look at it, I know it looks amazingly small, and you imagine, well, what could that thing do? It elevates, activates, and regenerates your stem cells. And I'm going to tell you why is that important, because by the time you turn 30, by the time we turn 30, half of our stem cells are inactive. My doctor never mentioned that, never even shared the fact that my stem cells are going dormant. And by the time we turn 60, guess what? All of our stem cells are inactive, nearly all of them. And why is that important? Because your stem cells, they are the tissues and the organs in our body that makes up the intended repair system. That is what repairs our bodies. I can remember as a child when I was running around all over the place and just wild, jumping out of trees, riding bikes against traffic. I mean, doing all kind of dangerous things. And I remember breaking an arm, bruising my knee, having a large scar. In fact, after I broke my arm, I remember being a cast for maybe a week or two. It was a soft cast, but I don't remember taking long for me to heal. I was back out doing the same things, and it seemed like I never broke my arm. Same deal with the scars. My scars went away quickly, and that is because when we're younger, we have active stem cells. You notice the difference between the ages of 30 and 60. Have you noticed things slowing down for you? Do you know when you get hurt? For example, if you got the same injury in your teens that you got in your 40s or 50s and 60s, it's not just a broken leg and arm. It becomes a replacement, becomes a hip replacement, knee replacement, a scar. You know, if you get a scratch or a bruise, it becomes a permanent scar. It's not unusual to see our friends, family members, and people that we love and care about walking around with a cane, walking around with a walker, riding around in a wheelchair, not even got motorized wheelchairs. And some people get fancy and put lights and bells and whistles on it, but the bottom line is people are aging at a faster rate than ever before. I mean, when have you ever in your life, particularly years ago, heard about somebody in their 20s or 30s having diabetes and heart disease and all of these different things that are happening in our bodies? That is because the world is changing. And the bottom line is the less active our stem cells that we have, the slower we heal, the faster we feel the effects of aging. That is why some people age very quickly and people look a lot older than they are. And again, it's not just here in the United States, it's particularly around the world. And that's because we're being attacked by the food. The food's not the same. The food has been depleted. The farming depleted the soil. Minerals are not the same. We're having a lot of foods that were manufactured in plants. That is why you can go to the store and get seedless grapes, seedless cucumbers, seedless watermelons. What happened to all the seeds? The seeds what God gave us to replenish. The water's not the same. You look at what happened in Detroit 2 years ago, a couple of years, actually more than 2 years ago, when they had a system-wide failure and it was contaminated. And the city tried to cover it up, and unfortunately, some people got sick and maybe passed away from it. And let's talk about the smoke. The forest fires in California. That's once that fire is over and that dust and air settles, it goes somewhere. They had some fires in Canada. I live in the northeast part of the country, which is New York, New Jersey area, and they had a fire in Canada 2 years ago, and it was so bad that it was a yellow hue in the sky, and we were warned on by news and the weather stations. Listen, do not go outside for the next 2 days because the quality of the air is not safe. That's how bad it was. So that adds to the effects of aging. Not to mention the stresses of life. If you have a job, some of you may have a job where you have to drive to and deal with commuting and traffic. Get up early in the morning. It's dark when you leave, dark when you come home. Some of you go to jobs and work for someone who's not as qualified as you to manage your business. They give you a hard time. Again, you get stressed out by being there. And the bottom line is, most companies, if you work for a living and you're exchanging time for money, you will never get wealthy. You will make a living. And most companies pay us just enough so we don't quit. Most people work just hard enough so they don't get fired. So all these effects of aging, again, make us age faster, means that people are experiencing the effects of aging. Now I have a question for you, and I'm going to talk about wealth a lot. When I say wealth, I'm talking about your health. That is your first wealth, your actual health. Because if you had a choice to have $1 million or to have your health, what if you had $1 million, but you're in pain all the time? You're taking medications, you're all these prescriptions. You're taking 10 to 12 different medications a day, and you're just not happy. Would you rather have good health, or would you have a lot of money? I know I would choose health every time, because what good is it to have $1 million if you cannot enjoy it? But what if you have the opportunity to have both? What if you didn't have to make a choice between wealth and health, and you could have them both? Well, we're going to share with you how you can have both, but I'm going to focus mainly on what I call wealth. So when I say wealth, I want you to hear the word health, because that is actually what we're going to talk about. Now, how did this X39 patch works? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Phototherapy is not new. Many dermatologists use all forms of light and therapy to heal the skin and body. Even go back to ancient times, they used phototherapy as a way of healing people and causing different effects with different colored glass. It's a patented nanocrystal technology. Nano simply means very small. Technology, and again, the crystals mean organic salts and crystals are in this patch. Again, it's non-transdermal, which means it does not penetrate the skin. There's no chemicals in it. And what it does, this patch actually reflects light to activate what we call your copper peptide. There's something in the body, it's a protein called copper peptide, and it was this study that was discovered back in 1973 by another scientist. His name was Laurent Picard. And what he discovered was that if you can find a way to activate your copper peptides, you can actually activate dormant stem cells. He spent his life trying to find a cure for cancer. He didn't find a cure for cancer, but he is the one who discovered the copper peptide called GHKCU. If you're like me, I'm an engineer. If you want to do a deep dive, look up GHKCU, and you'll see all the benefits of having a copper peptide if you can have it activated. Now, what this patch does, it reflects light to activate your copper peptides, and it reflects light, again, like a mirror. If you think about how we get vitamin D, you go out into the sun, and it's not that we get vitamin D from the sun. The sun literally sends wavelengths of light at certain frequencies that wakes up the vitamin D that is already in us. God has given us a body to heal itself, and that's what the sun does for us. It allows our body to heal itself. That is a form of phototherapy. When I was a kid, I used to take a magnifying glass and I would hold it to the sun, and I could literally burn holes in the leaf, and I could start a fire if I was to choose to, because of the power of light and what it can do. There's no drugs or chemicals in this patch, and it's 100% non-invasive. That makes it a safe thing for you. In fact, Lifewave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. It is simply the technology that allows the body to heal itself. I'm going to show you how that works. So the bottom line is, we have a technology that allows us to heal our bodies, and that's what this patch does. And that is what you're here to learn about. Now, let's talk about the inventor. His name is David Schmidt. David Schmidt is the CEO and the inventor of this incredible technology. Now, it says he has over 130 patents, but as of today, he has over 200 patents. And again, he's a scientist and inventor. He's a man of faith. He specializes in age reversing technologies. In fact, the majority of his patents are geared towards age reversing technologies. And this is not Dave's first rodeo. Over 20 years ago, 21 years ago now, he was hired by the Navy SEALs because they wanted to have some kind of technology that allowed the Navy SEALs to stay alert in this new submarine they created. They didn't want a drug. They didn't want something that's going to allow them to crash and burn after the drug wears off. They didn't want any type of energy drink, no chemicals that had side effects. So he developed his first energy pack over 20 years ago. And again, as you can imagine, for the Navy SEALs to hire you to develop something, you had to have a reputation coming in the door. He didn't stop there. In 2008, David actually focused his attention on stem cell research. That was the buzz of 2008. People were using stem cell injections. There were a lot of challenges with stem cell injection. The first thing is, well, where are they getting these stem cells from? In some cases, they were getting them from aborted fetuses. They were taking it out of aborted fetuses and other places. And the challenges with stem cell technology and stem cells itself is it's an injection in your body. It's usually a localized injection. There's no guarantee it's going to work. You generally have to get a treatment every 6 months. And the cost, anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 for a stem cell shot. Some people go out of the country to get it. It's illegal in some places, but the bottom line is it's not cost effective for the average person. And that is why it's a challenge. So when David spent the time to develop, he spent, again, 10 years and $4.5 million of his own money to bring this new product, the X39, to market. That changed everything. I'm going to show you a short 3-minute video. It's going to hear from David himself. What better way to understand how this patch works than the person who invented it himself? After that 3-minute video, I'm going to come back on the other side. I'm going to tell you the benefits of the patch. I'm going to tell you how to wear the patch. I'm going to tell you where you can get the patch. And for those of you who are so inclined and you want to share with other people, I'm going to show you how you can add additional income stream to your household by helping other people. And what better way to get very wealthy yourself than help people improve their health. So let's watch this short 3-minute video, and I will see you guys on the other side.
Share with us how the amazing X39 technology works. We've got a lot of brand partners that are brand new, so they really want to hear from you. And then we got some highly sophisticated, educated doctors in the room, so kind of relate to all of them on how this technology works.
Yeah. So the first thing to understand, I suppose, is that our bodies are based on light as a form of communication. We have a bioelectrical system in our body, which is all based on math and geometry. And if we can understand what this biological code is, we can do some really remarkable things with it. So the current direction of my research is looking at species that are immortal and looking at codes, the mathematical codes that we find in the Bible and mathematical codes that we find in nature, which I now think of as being God's fingerprint. And we can use this information to support the body's natural healing systems in ways that haven't been available before. So with the patches, which is one of many different technologies that we'll come out with. I know we'll probably talk a little bit about what's in store for the future, which is incredibly exciting. But on the patches, because this is our foundational technology and our foundational products, they stimulate the skin with a blend of different wavelengths of light that are modulated to contain information. So what does this mean? If we think of laser communications, which have been around for many, many decades now, and that's how fiber optics work. We're going to take a laser, we modulate the light to contain information, and then at the receiving end, that light is unpacked and decoded, and now we can hear voice or see video. So the human body essentially works the same way, meaning that light is emitted from the cells. And actually, how light is emitted from the cells is an incredibly fascinating subject because it's coming from the DNA and the hydrogen bonds in the DNA. And that light emission has actually come from the spiritual realm, you might say. But what this all means is that in the thousands and thousands of different biochemical reactions that are occurring at any one time, there are pulses of coherent laser-like light that is emitted from the DNA, emitted from the cells, and this orchestrates and initiates the changing biochemical environment in the cell. So what this means is that now, through normal course of aging, our glutathione or our copper peptide levels would decrease. But if we know the code where we can stimulate the skin and communicate with the body and say, hey, I'd like to increase those copper peptide levels, and I want to improve the activity of the stem cells in the body. If we know that code, then it's nothing more complicated than stimulating the skin with those wavelengths of light to instruct the cells to elevate the copper peptide. And the exciting thing is that that's only the beginning. What we can do with light-based technology is nothing short of extraordinary.
Well, I don't know about you, but one thing I noticed when I first met Dave and heard Dave speak, he is a man of faith. You heard he talking about it's a combination of biological codes, a combination of codes found in the Bible. So it's no surprise that it actually works that the way it does. So just to give you a summary of what he said, basically what this patch does. When you put it on the body, as you know, when you're walking around at night, you can be seen with night vision goggles because our body gives off heat and light, forms energy. And what this patch does, it acts as a mirror. It reflects that light and heat back into our bodies at certain frequencies that stimulate the copper peptides. And as you said, if you can stimulate the copper peptides, you can wake up those dormant stem cells. And when your dormant stem cells are active, it goes into repair the body where it's needed. Just to read, it's a patented technology. And one thing we have to understand is you cannot get a patent for something if it does not work. Let me say that again. You cannot get a patent for something if it doesn't work. This is a wearable phototherapy, and again, apparatus that produces beneficial effects to the human body, such as activation of cells, improvement in strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. Understand there are no stem cells in this patch. It's simply organic crystals, salts, and sugars. Again, just the way that it's designed, that it actually reflects light back inward. This non-transdermal apparatus reflects or emits specific wavelengths of light to elevate levels of a copper peptide, which I indicated earlier, GHKCU in the body. Again, and you can see the patent on one of my sites. So again, this is a patented technology. There's another 15 years left on this patent. So that means you can only get it through Lifewave brand partners. Now, what are the benefits of the patch? Increase in strength, reduce inflammation, energy and vitality improves, you increase in your stamina, your mental clarity improves. In fact, I want to show you the brain scan of a 77-year-old woman, and you're going to see scientifically proven that how she had these migraine headaches for years that were and could not, she tried everything she can to get reduced inflammation and she could not make it happen, but using the patch did it for her. It restores multiple skeletal conditions, improvement in sleep, improvement in skin appearance. I mean, this is just some of the benefits of the patch. And I must mention again, Lifeway products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. It simply reactivates your dormant stem cells and your body goes to work to heal itself. Here is the topography map, which is the brain scan of the 77-year-old woman that I talked about. If you look at session number 1, you see the reddish orange area in the far left. That represents inflammation in the brain, a lack of brain coherence. Again, look what happens. So she puts the patch on her first day. She comes back wearing the patch daily for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, look at the middle brain scan. No more red and orange, no more inflammation, improved brain coherence. And look by session 3, which is 6 weeks later, complete turnaround, better brain coherence again. Again, this is a positive result. Again, scientifically proven. But I want you to think about something. What you're looking at is the brain scan. You're looking at the activities of what the stem cells are doing. So you have stem cells in the brain. You also have stem cells in your heart, in your liver, in your bone structure, in your blood, your eyes. Every part of your body has stem cells. So if this is happening with the brain, could you imagine what it can be doing for the rest of the body? That is incredible. Now, let's talk about the long-term results of the patch. And this is based on case studies on our website. If you want more information, go to thisisitinfo.com. It's an information site. In the first couple of days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That is significant because it's been proven that you can reset 2 of your genes if you drink enough red wine, because there's an ingredient in red wine called resveratrol, which is basically the extract of a grape seed. And again, so could you imagine how much red wine you'd have to drink to reset 4,000 of your genes. So in the first couple of days, some people will notice immediate effects. Some will take a little bit longer, but it will start to go to work on your behalf. In some cases you feel it, some cases you want, but again, remember, this is a patented technology proven to work in over 97% of the people who use it. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. I just shared with you this brain scan of a 77-year-old woman as proof. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Now, the collagen is not just relegated to your skin and your hair and your nails. Every part of your body has collagen in it. So again, it's affecting the entire body. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age by 8 years. That wasn't a misquote. Again, you have two ages. You have your physical age, how many trips you've been around the sun, but you also have what we call your age based on your heart, your vascular age, we may call it. You can be 50 years old, but you can have the body of somebody in 40 because you worked out, you exercised, you ate right, you didn't have a lot of stress in life. So even though you may be 50 years of age, your vascular age could be listed. When you go take your blood work, it looks like you're 40 years old. And you could have the opposite. You could be somebody who's 50 who has look like have the body of somebody in his 70s or 80s because you ate wrong foods, you didn't exercise, you didn't drink enough water, you may have drank and smoked, maybe you were under a lot of stress. Those things add to your age, and that's why some people look a lot older than the age, and some people look younger because their vascular age varies. But again, within 6 months, your heart reverses by 8 years. Again, it has been proven by urine and blood analysis for people who have used the patch. It's not anti-aging; it's simply age reversing. That's a comment by the founder David Schmidt himself. Now, how do you wear the patch? Very simply, you wear the patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You see two locations where the patch is shown: in the front of the body, just below the belly button, and in the back of the body, at the top of the neck, where you have that little bump, this top part of your nervous system. Now, for clinical studies, for the reason clinical study, that is where the water patch. But you can wear the patch anywhere in the body. If you have somewhere you have pain, put it where it hurts. But you can wear the patch anywhere in the body. Let's say you put the patch on at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you take it off at 8 o'clock at night. You throw it away, you discard it, and you let your body rest because it is proven in a lot of studies that your body repairs and rejuvenates when it's in a rest state. And because you're getting better sleep, guess what? You're going to also have better repair and rejuvenation by wearing a patch. Then you put a new patch on the next day and you repeat it. Now, you can wear more than one patch at a time, but you generally need just one patch. Again, it does what all it needs. Drink plenty of water when you wear this patch, preferably mineral water, alkaline water, healthy water. But you want to drink water because more people will be healthy if they just drink more water. That is why when you are rolled into an emergency room, the first thing they do when you roll you into the emergency room is they want to hydrate you. Because most of us don't drink enough water. We walk around dehydrated and don't even know it. Now, very sophisticated sound technology, but easy to explain. This patch again acts as a mirror. It reflects your own light and infrared light back into the body at a certain frequency that activates your copper peptides. And as it's been studied back since 1973, if you can activate your copper peptides, you will wake up those dormant stem cells. And when your stem cells are awake, it now can go to work to what it was designed to do, which is repair the body, the inflammation, the pain, all the things that you have challenges with. This is what happens. So I'm going to stop my screen share for a minute because we're going to share some testimonies. We have Mr. Emerson, as well as we have Amber. If she chooses to share, I'm going to ask you to come off camera. Give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing for the moment. And let's find Amber. Do you want to say hello to your guests before we bring Emerson on to uh, give his testimony?
Yes,
Here you go. Go ahead, Amber. The floor is yours.
I guess I'd better. Otherwise, I'll have my daughter to contend with if I don't come on and say something. I would like to say that I thank you, Derek, for the opportunity to speak. And Emerson introduced the product to me about 6 weeks ago, and I was so impressed with the product and the testimonies that I wanted to become a brand partner. And I came in at the premium level because I was so excited about it. And as far as the business opportunity itself, I think it came at the right time for me. I had just told my daughter I wanted to do something, and she gave me that, that millennial look, but Emerson came and he brought it to me. And I think the best way to sum it up for me as far as a business opportunity would be with the words of my good friend Tyler Perry, who does not yet know he's my good friend, but he said, to every dreamer in this room, there are people whose lives are tied to your dream. And to me, that was powerful, because that means that somebody somewhere woke up this morning and they were hurting. They weren't able to go about their regular day because they had inflammation or pain, or they couldn't rest well. And this patch could make a difference for them and for their lives. So that's one of the reasons, or the main reason for me, that I wanted to be a part of Lifewave. So thank you, Derek, for the opportunity to speak. And I thank Emerson and Linda for being there for me and talking me through these steps.
All right. Well, thank you, Emma, for sharing. Again, it's a pleasure to have you on our team. Looking forward to
Thank
work with you. And as you said, helping those people that we know, love, or care about, that we know are hurting, that we have a solution, and it would be selfish if we didn't share with them. So I'm going to ask Mr. Emerson to come on. I know he has several testimonies, and if you can, Emerson, unmute and come off camera so they can see you, and you can share all the wonderful things that you experienced with the patch.
Whoa, there it is. Come on. Here we go. My camera doesn't want to work this afternoon. There we go. Well, Derek, thank you so much for allowing me to have an opportunity to speak. I thank everyone that came to help Amber with her launch. I thank Amber for seeing the vision as I did. And when I was introduced to the patch by Mr. Alan Parsons, I was kind of skeptical, because again, someone's telling you that stem cells, and I had my own idea of what stem cells did. And my walk down with the patch was, I guess, fairly typical. After 8 days, I had much more energy. I had much more vitality. As you can tell, I'm definitely a senior, and so I was happy to have that. But what's been amazing to me, absolutely amazing to me, is now that I've been on the patch for almost 120 days, something has happened that I did not anticipate at all. So bear with me as I go through the backstory, because I've got to set it up so you understand how amazing this patch is. In 1974, I was invited to a restaurant, a Japanese restaurant in New York City. We were going to celebrate somebody's retirement for the Coast Guard, and I was there with my previous wife. And so we were sitting down, and we were having a meal, and all of a sudden I started feeling strange. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then I started sweating. And the next thing I knew, I was sick right there at the table. I couldn't even get to the bathroom. And it was embarrassing. I don't remember all the details of what happened after it, because I was just so embarrassed. And I didn't understand what had happened to me. Why did I get sick? Well, fast forward from there to 1976, I moved to Alaska. And in Alaska, I was seeing this old doctor. He was pretty senior at the time. And I told him what had happened to me. He says, "Oh, I know what's wrong with you. You have food allergies. You are allergic to fructose." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, you said you can't ingest fruit sugars in the raw form." I said, "Oh, does many people do that?" He said, "No, not many." He says, "But that's what your problem is. So as long as something is cooked, the molecular structure is changed, you'll be okay. But if it's in the raw form," he says, "you might want to stay away from it." Well, fast forward to 1980, 81. I was in Orlando, Florida, and I was telling my doctors about it, and they says, "Well, we're not exactly sure what he's talking about, but we like to test and see how well what this all these allergies that you say you have, because I couldn't eat fresh fruits. I couldn't eat a salad. Most folks try to lose weight, they eat a salad, reduce calories, a whole 9 yards. I couldn't do that. So they said, "Well, come on down," and it was a naval facility. "We're going to scratch your back with these different things, and we're going to see how you react to it." I said, "Okay." So they did the scratch test. They did 57 scratches on my back. Not painful, annoying, but not painful. I reacted to 55 of them. And the guy says, "What do you eat?" I said, very carefully, because my wife and I had learned that if vegetables especially didn't change colors, I couldn't eat it. She would actually taste it for me and said, "No, you can't have that's al dente. Leave that alone." I said, "Okay." leave that alone. I won't eat those green beans. I won't eat that broccoli or whatever, because it wasn't cooked well enough. And when she'd cook it at home, she'd make sure that it was cooked well enough for me to eat. So again, fast forward, actually, we went right on, and I had been like this. I've been married to my present wife for 45 years, and up until, I hadn't thought anything about it. So when Alan introduced me to the patch, I had some pains in my hands that I was worried about because and I knew that my hand strength was weakening. I could tell that, and I was just, and so when the patch kicked in and all these things were improving, I was elated. I was like, wow, this is great. And it didn't really push me over the edge until I met a lady by the name of Evelyn Burgard, who had basically bone-on-bone knee problems, and the patch relieved that pain as well. And so once I talked to Evelyn, I went all in. And when I say all in, I did like Amber. I got the premium pack. I was going just hog wild, and I've been at it ever since. As a matter of fact, I found out about Evelyn's situation on the 18th of March. By the 28th of March, I was a manager. That's how dedicated I got to it. Again, I wasn't thinking about anything else. And then a couple nights ago, we had another Zoom meeting, and we were talking about certain things, and somebody said something about allergies. I said, allergies? Because I hadn't thought about it. I said, I wonder. Because I have been taking it now for about 120 days. I said, I wonder. And something said, well, go try a piece of fresh fruit. And if you know, like most of us, when you don't do something because you're afraid of something happening, it's hard to tell the brain, override that order. I'm going to go ahead and eat some fresh fruit. I had to literally fight with myself to put in a cherry in my mouth. I was like, my brain was like, no, don't do that. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to go to the bathroom. I'm saying, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. The patch has got you. I said, nah. I ate my first piece of fresh fruit. I ate a cherry, and I sat there and I waited, because you have to understand, within 2 seconds of me eating something that had fruit sugars in it, my body would immediately erupt and I have to go to the restroom. I've had to run out many a times from meals and the whole 9 yards because I had to go to the bathroom because my body was reacting. It didn't react. And so I said, maybe that wasn't sweet enough. So I ate another one and another one. And I ate 4 cherries. And I'm sitting there going, okay, body, what you gonna do? And it did nothing. And so I was like, okay. 5 minutes went by, no reaction. 10 minutes went by, no reaction. At the 20-minute mark, I felt the first twinges of my body reacting. But I didn't want to I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I didn't throw up. I'm like, it's the patch. I have done nothing else to cause that to go away. And all of a sudden, here's something that's been pestering me for 60 years of my life, 50 years of my life, because like I said, I'll be 3/4 of a century this in August. All of a sudden, I'm able to eat fruit. And I am waiting. I'm actually giving myself a couple of weeks before I try it again. Why? Because again, this patch doesn't work at lightning speed. It takes a time. It finds the things that need to be addressed in the body, and it goes at them very methodically, very carefully, but very godlike, because God set up the system to repair our body. So what I'm telling you is simply this: the patch works. You're not going to feel it working. It isn't like it beats you over the head and says, I'm doing this. It's not like a medication that makes you drowsy or anything like that, but it works, and it works in a way that is the way that God intended for our bodies to work. So again, Derek, thank you very much for my opportunity to give this testimony. And this is not the only one that I have. I have several more, but this is the only one I'm going to share tonight.
Thank you, Amber, for sharing that testimony. And again, thank you, Amber. So I'm going to get back to the screen again. For those of you, again, we have hundreds of testimonies to share, and they can get you the site that we have. We have a website. I think I mentioned earlier, this is it. .com. This is the info.com. That site actually will give you some information on the different testimonies. Now, you've heard some information that can change your life, give you what we call health freedom. Health freedom is the freedom from taking medications. It's freedom from pain. It's freedom from, some of the things that debilitating issues and challenges that you may have had for years. Again, we have health freedom, and now you know how to get it simply by wearing this patch and using the patch. Now, with health freedom comes financial freedom, because if you can actually now have you're pain free and you can enjoy yourself and you're healthy, and you can share this with others, because we don't focus on selling, we focus on using the patches ourselves. We share what people love and care about. They get the patches and they do the same, and we just share what people they love and care about. And now you can actually have a way to get financial freedom. I'm going to share that in a minute. And then obviously, if you have your health and your finances in order, guess what? You can have what we call time freedom, because now you could do things without the constraints of health or finances. You can travel the world. You can pay off maybe your church is paying off the finance of the church. Maybe you have a family member or friend or somebody you know who's struggling, and you have the means to help them out. This gives you opportunity to do those things. Whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, whatever you want to accomplish, you can accomplish them here with Lifewave. Now, I want you to put on your business hat. Again, I want you to be that light bulb amongst all the others. Again, this is an idea that's not traditional. It's something that stands apart from everything else. But if you are a business-minded person, if you understand business, you'd understand and see why this opportunity is the best opportunity of our time. And I don't just say that lightly. I know a lot of people say they have the best, they have the better, but we're having the best opportunity, and it's documented. Now, Lifewave, again, it's a 20-year-old company. This is their 21st year in business. They're in over 75 countries. And the reason that this opportunity is such a great opportunity, because it is not a Me Too product. It's not like most companies, weight loss, skincare, supplements, vitamins. Not that those things are not good for you, but there are so many companies that offer those products. Everyone says they have one that's better than the other. Again, there's so many options to get it, but you can only get the Lifewave patch from the X39 from Lifewave. Again, Lifewave averaged $20 million in sales and revenue for their 20 years in business. And in 2021, they did $20 million. The X39 patch was introduced during COVID around 2020. And look what happened from 2021 to 2022. The company went from $20 million to $320 million in 2022, to $430 million in 2023, to over $600 million in 2024. And we are part of a team within Lifewave called the This Is It team, because our leaders who, when they first started using the patch, they said, this is it. And that became the name of our team. We're pushing to be $1 billion company by the end of 2025. So you are at the right place at the right time with the right company. And not only, again, we're the top #1 team in the country, we are the #1 company based on business for home organization, based on per businessforhome.org, which is a media company that evaluates companies. We are the #1 company for 2 years in a row out of 6,000 companies globally. Let me say that again. We're #1, ranked twice in a year in terms of growth and some of the momentum we're having, out of 6,000 companies around the world. So again, we're not just a fly by night. We're not just saying we're the best. It's proven, it's documented. Now, this is a company, again, this is actually an event that we have with our team on the left. You see David Schmidt on the far left receiving an award by the Direct Selling Network called the Global Bravo Award, which is, again, an award that's given to the top 5 companies in the world, in industry. And again, what you see behind David Schmidt, along with Steve and Gina Merritt, who are our leaders and one of the corporate executives, that is a team event. That's not a company event. And at the time, 2 years ago in Florida, that was the largest event the company had in the history of its company, even though the company's been around for 20 years. Again, so this company has grown by leaps and bounds, but our team is responsible for a good portion of that growth. Now, let's talk about this global business opportunity. I must have a disclaimer. Lifewave makes no claim, no promises or guarantees about income. Again, the success or failure of each Lifewave brand partner, like any other business, depends on you, your skills, and your personal effort. All right. Let's get right into now the product. Now, Lifewave, again, X39, we have what's called a sleeve. A sleeve is a 30-day supply of the patches. It retails at $149.95. Again, that's the price of it for 30 patches. It was a little more than $5 a day. But you can get it at a discount. You can get the price that we get it at. We are brand partners. Again, our focus is we buy the products, we use the products, we share the products. And again, the more you do that, you can get the discount. You just have to agree to a monthly subscription, and you can get it for $99.95 per month, which is about $3 per patch. Again, if you think that's a great deal. When you think about the cost of health or the bad health, imagine what it would cost if you had bad health versus good health. So again, that's a drop in the bucket when you talk about paying for your health. Now to get started, we have 3 bundles. You heard Amber, you heard Emerson mention them getting started at the premium pack. But again, those are bundles. The company again allows you to be a brand partner. Brand partner simply means not only do you get the discount on the patches, you can buy them at a discount. You can also retail them to others, but you can also sign up other people who want to do the same, and you can get compensated for that. And those bundles have advantages. Let me show you what they are. The first bundle is called a core bundle. It's basically a 90-day supply. You get 3 of those sleeves. Remember, a sleeve has 30 patches in it. It costs you $2.95, so you get a slight discount by getting it. And again, I recommend that for anyone who's looking just to try the patches. You can begin your journey. You have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. So again, begin your Lifewave journey by getting an experienced patch by becoming a core brand partner for $2.95. The next way to get started is called the Advance. That's a business builder. That's for somebody that says, you know what? This is a great opportunity. I may not understand the science and technology, but I do understand if I see a #1 company ranked in the world out of 6,000 companies, growing to be a billion-dollar company, and I'm in the midst of it, you don't get those opportunities often. You get another slightly more discount. You get it for $5.35. And again, you can begin your Lifeway business journey with X39 with 6 sleeves. And again, as Emerson said, as well as Amber, they both started with the premium pack. The premium pack is for the serious entrepreneur. You get 20 sleeves. You save almost $600 and some dollars, not only because you get them at $17.50, the cost of getting it at one time. There's some other benefits associated with it. Again, the bottom line is you get it for about $87.50 per sleeve. And again, and it's good to have the premium pack, because when you have new brand partners get started, guess what? They don't have to wait till their package comes in. You could maybe loan them 2 or 3 of the sleeves, and they can return them when they come back. And there's some other benefits to it. Now, when you become a brand partner, you have to have what's called a monthly subscription. And it's important to have a monthly subscription because that means you are active. And to be active, you just need to have 1 sleeve per month, which is $99 per month. Again, you need at least 1 sleeve per month because you need 1 for yourself. You have a spouse or significant other, you need 1 for them. And you need to give out samples. If you heard this story, Amber as well as Emerson, both of them they gave samples to people who experienced the patches themselves. And again, that's how you're going to attract other people. Again, and you do that. What that does, it allows you to make up to $100 per week, but it also allows you to keep your points. And what I mean by points, every time you buy a sleeve yourself, every time you share with others, every time you retail or get a customer who buys them, and you invite other people to join and they share with other people, every time somebody gets a sleeve of X39, it represents points that are accumulating. And those points is like saving in a bank account where it just accumulates. And the reason it accumulates is you have a monthly subscription. So you have to have a monthly subscription to be active and let that accumulation continue. If you want to maximize the compensation plan, you have to have at least a 2 sleeve subscription. Again, it's $199 per month. And if you thought about ever having a business, a franchise, you think about something like a McDonald's. It costs you $50,000 to $100,000 to go to McDonald's University, and then it takes you 3 to 5 years to break even. Again, you have other headaches and all other things to go with it, but the bottom line is you can be profitable in your first week, in your first couple of days, and have your return on investment very quickly, and then you're in profit mode going forward. Not only do you keep your points, you can maximize the compensation plan. Our compensation plan is like none other I've ever seen. Initially, there were 4 ways we got paid. The company just added a couple more ways they get paid, and that's going to start the next month or so. I'm going to talk about the 4 ways we get paid. Let's talk about first and foremost something called a binary commission. They call team commission. The way binary works, you have 2 people on the left or 2 people on the right. So if you know at least one person underworked, overpaid, somebody that's sick and tired, or somebody who's just looking for ways to make extra income, guess what? You just identified 4 people to get to the position of manager. As Emerson said, he got to manager within 30 days because he was excited about it. He shared it with people. Amber's doing her launch today. That's a way to also launch a business. So those of you who decide to partner with us, you will be some of the first people to join the team. And let me tell you the benefit of timing. The way the binary structure works, you only have a left side and a right side. So that means if somebody joins after those 4 people that get started, they can only go to the left or the right. But guess who benefits from that? You. If you're in the left team and somebody above you enrolls someone who gets on the left side of their team, guess what? That person is also underneath you, and it just keeps going down left and right. Now, again, it could be hundreds of people, and that means everybody who's sharing patches, wearing patches, enrolling new brand partners, enrolling customers, they're accumulating volume, and that volume is underneath you. That means you're getting compensated for people that you didn't enroll. But because of your position and the timing in the binary, you benefit from the efforts of other people. You can earn up to $25,000 per week in the binary, again, by getting to as you rank up in the company. So again, just keep in mind, this is just one of the ways we get compensated. It does cap at $25,000 per week, which is about 1.2 million a year. But again, that's not a bad cap when you think about it. Now, the only thing better than getting the binary commission is something called a matching bonus. The company incentivizes us to help other people. We don't just enroll people and say, "Hey, here's your get started. Let's see what you can do." The company incentivizes you by helping them because they give what's called a matching bonus. And the way the matching bonus works, once you become manager or above, you will earn 25% of the earnings or commissions of anybody in your first level. That means the people that you personally enroll, think of it as your children, your children in your first generation. So let's say you got 10 children. And let's say one of them is they earned $1,000 this week. Guess what? They're going to earn 25% of that, which is $250 because somebody in your first generation earned $1,000 that week. And there's no limit to the number of people you can share with. So you can have 10 people, 20 people. You can have 100 people that you personally enroll. You will get a 25% match on all 25, all those individuals that's on your first generation. But here's the benefit to that. There's people on your second level because the people that you enroll, they know people that you don't know. They could be in other countries, other states. It doesn't matter. They're on your second generation. You will get a 20% match of everything they earn, and that goes down to another level, to your third level, your third generation, and you get another 20% match. And there's no limit to how much you can earn in the matching bonuses. So those are just two of the ways we get compensated. There are so many more, but those are the two that stand out more because of the benefit. Again, you are incentivized to help other people, which I love. Again, if you're not helping other people, guess what? You're not helping yourself. Now, for those of you who want more information, you can go to thisisitinfo.com. On that site is a information only site. The patents are there. There's a testimony there. There's a description, a presentation by David Schmidt himself, who explains to you how he developed the patch. There's doctors' testimonies on there. Information that you need to make a decision are in that site. Don't do the lazy Google search. Go directly to thisisitinfo.com if you want the authentic information straight from the horse's mouth. For those of you who want to see how we operate as a team, how we build businesses, we have a training system like no other. We like the McDonald's of the tech industry because again, we have videos, we have PDFs, we have training calls. Everything that you need to know is available to you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to plug in and be a good, what they call a copycat. And again, you just want to copy any cat. You want to copy the right cat. And we have the top people in the industry. We have many people having tremendous success already in a short period of time, and we are the #1 team. Even though the company's been around for 20 years, our team has been around for a little more than 3 years, but we are representative. Maybe 60% of the company's growth is due to the system that we put in place, and that is thisisitteam.com. We also have marketing tools, very simple. We have a postcard. On one side, it actually has the This Is It info link. That does the work for you. It explains everything that needs to be explained. On the opposite side of the card, it tells people the benefits of the patch. You put that in a simple envelope, give them a couple of samples, anywhere from 3 to 5 samples. Or if you want to be more generous, you give more. But again, that's usually enough for people to get an experience. And again, we also have a site. We have our own app called This Is It in Touch. This app actually allows you to send videos, media. The app is free for those who are brand partners. Everything that you need to do that success is in that app. Again, and it's a powerful app. You can track your businesses. You can send somebody a video. It will literally tell you if you sent somebody a video, whether they watched the whole video, 10% of it, and it will give you an alert. And it allows you to follow up. So you can have your business in the hand. If you're the kind of person that likes to work on your mobile phone, guess what? You can literally run a multi-million-dollar company and business from this active app. Now we have a big event coming up. It's called Next Level. Again, you saw the picture I showed you earlier in Florida when we had that event. In Florida, almost 2,000 people there. This is going to double or maybe triple that amount between on August 8th to the 10th in Orlando, Florida. If you want to attend, there's still time to enroll. You can go to thisisitconvention.com. If you're just joining, you want to get to that event because guess who's going to be there? all of the top earners in the company, including David Schmidt, as well as the director of the company, the leaders, the founders, the executive staff, everybody that's going to share and tell you what to do to have success at that event. There's another event coming up next week in Richmond, Virginia. Our very own Vidita and Harvey Monk. They were just in Greensboro, North Carolina. They was in Charlotte. They are traveling around the country, expanding. They are what they call senior presidential directors. That is the top level in the company. Harvey and Vidita Monk out of Atlanta do a phenomenal job. They're a phenomenal couple. So if you know anyone in the Richmond, Virginia area, you don't have to live in Richmond or Virginia. You know somebody who lives there, simply send them out. Send this information to them. They're going to have a meet and greet at 6:30. Get a chance to meet Vidita and her husband Harvey and some of the other leaders in the area. There's going to be an overview at 7 o'clock. Again, the details are there if you want to go get the information from the person that invited you. And as well as next Thursday, we have a launch for one of our other partners. Patricia Malcolm is another new brand partner. She's going to be launching her business next Thursday, June 26th at 8 p.m. Again, details will be shared with you as well. And if you're a brand partner, guess what? You'll have a launch as well. And now they just introduced a new compensation for those who launch a business. They're going to get compensated in their first 9 weeks simply by launching a business. Details to follow, but just keep in mind the company is always finding ways to compensate those who share this opportunity with others. Because again, it's saving lives, it's changing lives, and it's healing people in a big way. For those of you who are part of Erica McQueen's team, you know she has a team huddle on Thursdays. Again, every Thursday at 9 o'clock, what she does is introduce new partners, get a chance to share some information. You get a chance to share who you are and find out what's coming up. For those of you, again, just to close, and I just want to share a little bit more myself. Again, as I said, I'm Derek Hawkins. I'm a deacon at my church. I'm the leader of my men's ministry. My wife and I received an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism because we've been active in our communities for over 20 years, helping people. Again, we're big on terms of helping and building communities. Again, you can see my family, my pastor, as when I was anointed as a deacon. I played sports at a high level. That was when I was about maybe 30, 40 pounds lighter in high school. But again, I played until I was in my 60s. That's my beautiful granddaughter at the bottom. That's my family at a family reunion in Washington. Again, the bottom line is what's important to me is family, my faith, and having fun. Again, we do these things to help other people, again, but we are people of faith and we want to help as many people as we can have success. So again, I want to thank you all for your time. And before I close out, I just want to share this. Withhold not good from those who it is due when it is in the power of thine hand to do so. You know people that are healing, know people that are hurting. We have an opportunity to change lives in a big way. So those of you, again, if you didn't do so, make sure you put your name in the chat. Let us know who invited you. I'm sure Emerson as well as would like to know that you were here. You want to make sure that you get that information in the chat. Again, we're going to have another call. Actually, there's a call tonight at 8 o'clock, and there's another one at 10 o'clock. So if you know people and you like what you see, you have time to really actually go and invite people out and say, hey, there's another presentation. You can build your business in one night by taking advantage of the 8 o'clock call and the 10 o'clock call. Tonight, there's another call tomorrow as well. And we have calls pretty much every day for the most part. And again, but we put you in a position to win. All you have to do is plug in. So thank you for being our guest this evening. Get back to the person that invited you. Again, Amber or Emerson, whoever invited you, make sure you let them know you were here and let them know, where you want to get started. Which bundle makes more sense for you? Go ahead and get yourself started. Or if you just want to try the patches, again, you have an opportunity to buy retail at $149 versus $99. But again, why pay more when you can pay less? Join the number one team and the number one company in the world. We're the number one company out of 6,000 companies in the world, and we're the number one team in that company. So thank you for your time. Get back to the person who invited you. We will see you all on the beaches of the world, and have a good night, and God bless you all.